Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you on Friday, September the 13th. Friday the 13th. And here's 2024. Let's talk trading. It's time for the weekly wrap-up with Walmal. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine and different from Walmal's. And a friendly reminder, like I always do, you must have your risk management in place. Never lose more than you're willing to lose on any one single trade. Taking a look at the weekly chart, the dashboard shows all weekly open gaps have filled, and right now, price is 25 pips above the weekly open, 13 off the high, now 12 off the high, and 139 off the low. Zooming out to the month, we are 14 pips above the monthly open, 98 off the high, and 139 off the low. And what's really interesting is if you look at the opening range for the week and the opening range for the month, you can see that we've been dancing across those upper and lower limits. Yesterday we opened below the opening range for the week and closed inside it, and we closed inside the opening range for the month. Today we touched the high of the opening range for the month. We're pretty much right at the top of the opening range for the week here at 131.42. We just dropped about a pip below it. So those opening ranges and the weekly and monthly opens were definitely some lines to look at this week. For the year, 431 pips above the yearly open, and as you can see, we're in the upper wick zone of the previous month right now. 124 off the yearly high and 843 off that yearly low. And we had an inside bar in the daily chart 9 days ago, and we are within that range right now. In fact, there's more than a handful of inside bar trades on the daily. We only have a couple on the monthly right now. The range for the day is only 39 pips, Walmal. But yeah, but the yen pairs, they're really moving. In fact, we've got the dollar yen at 152 pips. And it's 119 off of that open. So obviously there's something going on with the yen pairs. The buy zone, I mentioned that daily, weekly open. You can see here, the previous hour, we dropped barely below the weekly open, came screaming back, and it moved. It basically made a low, and then this hour, this candle made a high for the day. So a lot of movement. And but the funny thing is, with only 38.9 pips for the range, you really couldn't play the rat. That was not a trade today. Bambino flex indicator said to go long. Price near pivot was a long, but we haven't been anywhere near the pivot today. We have taken out the monthly pivot. We've taken out the weekly pivot, but we haven't taken out today's pivot. So right now, September, we have two open pivots. One above at 131.60 and one below at 130.95. So looks like we need to take those pivots out. Though last month we still have 4 open pivots for August. In and out of that upper wick zone, there really wasn't much of an upper wick zone. It's almost a horizontal line. It's only 1.1 pips of range. So that's kind of funny there. And looking at the smart ranges for the week over the last 12 weeks. So this week we have 152 pips of range. Last week we had 151 pips of range. We didn't break the previous week's high. We did break the previous week's low by 86 pips. And for the rats, High minus close on the weekly is 12 right now, and close minus low is 140. And for the weekly crossover traders or buy zone traders, high minus open 38, open minus low 114. So once again, there were some pips to be made trading those horizontal lines. And if let's go out and we look here at the year-to-date accumulated range, we have not pushed the needle at all. Looking at the trade reminder, we take a quick look at the week. We're inside the previous month's upper wick zone. We're inside the previous week's upper wick zone. And we're above the previous day's upper wick zone at the moment. Let's see. We've got price turning up for the weekly. Previous range exceeded by 0.5 pips. We've got a lower high and lower low, but as you can see, we've got a green weekly candle at the moment. So we've got crossing signals there, or signals that may cancel each other out. Walmal, I had an email from a trader, and they were asking about, we didn't discuss any confluence with higher time frames, and I told them that we really don't use confluence. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I don't use it. That's for sure. Because the thing is, all my trades are short-term trades. It's just something it's almost an in-the-moment type of trade. And I may go and look at it where, hey, look at this right now. Every single time frame is green right now on the pound dollar. So that it's not going to influence me to go in the trade or get out of the trade, but it may go and set a bias to me saying, okay, it's obviously going up, and if I'm in a short, be careful. Or if I'm looking to get into a short, be careful. But I'm not going to go and use it for, to the point where I'm actually not just using it as a bias, but also going as far as to as a necessity in order to get in the trade or get out of the trade. It just may do something where I may just be influenced, but it's not going to go and actually cause some type of trigger for me.
So today, you said you made a few pips, but these ranges are just so muted. I think that's, like you said, why you you're trading at the edges now.
Yeah, it's hard to trade at the edge when the two edges for a range, for example, is on top of each other almost. But there's still room in there. I mean, yesterday when I was done trading, there was only a range of 29 pips on the day, and I made, I believe, 32 pips or something like that. I had a really good day, but the thing is, what really worked out well for me was that the edges, they were about 10 pips away from each other. So there was enough room there that you could go and make 4 or 5 pips in one direction, and then make 4 or 5 pips in the other direction, and then go back and as they say, wash, rinse, and repeat, right? And so yeah, you wind up taking more trades than you normally would take, and you just got to go and say, if it goes and breaks this, it's going to go and break it big, and you can make a lot of pips on it. And in fact, that's what happened yesterday. Was it finally broke to the upside? I believe there was like 90 or 95 pips, to the upside yesterday. But when I was trading, it was only 29, and it's like, I'll just go and I'll take my 3, 4, 5 pips at a shot, and just keep on putting them in the bank. And I have to go and look at it that big explosion is not my trade. And so the only thing I got to go and be careful of, though, is that let's say I went short, because I thought it was going to go and break off the top of the range again, and it doesn't. It continues on. Well, that's the reason why we have this little thing called stop loss, and you wind up taking a loss on that trade. If you happen to be taking that trade, and that's the thing. It's sort of like if I can win, and then one loss, and as long as that one loss is not a big loss, that's okay. Vegas doesn't win every trade, right?
Yeah, they don't. I just noticed that price shot up, from the launch pad at the 40, and I think it ran up to about 46. I was thinking that would have been a nice, 4 or 5 pip trade to make.
Right, exactly. And you just take advantage of those. Yeah, they're small trades, but I'm not looking. It would have been nice, if my method allowed me. Actually, you could devise a system to do it. If you look back in the previous hour, if there's a flip flop there, there's a 2-bar trade there, there's a 3-bar reversal there, all around the. I can't see the actual timer because I don't have that. Let me see if I can pull that up and get it. All around the 47-minute mark, 45 to 47-minute mark on the chart. You could have
Is
gone
that
in there.
1547?
Yes, sir. We had a little bit of consolidation there on the 1 minute.
Yeah, 1547. I'm saying it. Yeah.
And the thing is, you could have picked up 20, 25 bits. That would have been nice, all in one trade. But the problem is, if you're looking to get that, understand you've got the potential of being chopped up because, it doesn't always do that. And that's the problem. Again, it gets back to what you said earlier in the week. We trend 30% of the time and we're ranging 70% of the time. And that means that there's a good chance because you're ranging, you're going to get chopped up in that. And so that's why I said, you know what? If my ranging is happening in a wide enough spectrum, meaning 10 pips or so, hey, I can go and run it from one end of the range to the other end of the range and back and forth like that. And then I'm going to be right, 70% of the time and wrong 30% of the time. And so as long as my stop loss is close enough that I don't mess up my, expectancy. Maybe we ought to do a video on expectancy at some time. But if I don't mess up my expectancy, then who cares? Because I'll take the loss. It's like today, my 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 efficiency today is 90%. But and today was an off day. I only made 8 pips today. But so what? What this meant was I had one losing trade, and I had a couple of winning trades, and I wound up with an efficiency of 90%. And I'm willing to go and suffer that loss, and that's kind of what I do. Especially with this market, I think this works out really well with this particular market because we're so muted in terms of pips, and where it's ranging to, and for a daily range, that you have to go and start looking at things like that.
Yeah, and if you
go ahead.
I was going to say, and talk about ranging, if you look at the psychologicals, it's just been between 31.25 and 31.50 for most of the time. It's just like, okay, you just play the quarters. It's
exactly. Exactly right.
I mean, this is not hard, and because it's like, if you can draw these lines every 25 pips, you can see price for whatever reason just seems to go from one to the other. It's just, it just depends if you're willing to wait, 2 hours or not. And so, speaking about waiting and hours, the fastest 15 minutes in trading is just about over. So, fellow traders, I hope you're having a profitable day, week, month, year so far. And I'm going to wish you a fun and safe weekend. Be careful out there. It's Friday the 13th. Don't push your luck. And when you come back to trade, always remember and never forget, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.